Okay, I got some more groceries to talk about and the prices. Now, before I continue, I did get a few comments on my first video complaining that I had a lot of import foods, which was true. And also, a lot of people mentioned that, well, they're overpriced because you bought in the supermarket. Well, I'm in Makati, Manila, which is an area that a lot of foreigners would come to because it's quite popular. It is known, it's quite famous as one of the safer places to be in Manila. So a lot of foreigners do come here, and I can only deal with the options that I have. There are no wet markets nearby that I can walk to, or so I'm told. I asked around and I was told that there's nothing nearby. There's, I've noticed a few street side vendors, but let's face it, most people just want to go to the grocery store and do their shopping and be done with it. I don't want to be shopping, walking around 3 miles every day to get what I need. So I'm using supermarket prices. Now, there are two supermarkets in my area that are accessible to me. One is Rustan's, which is really a high-end supermarket. They do have a lot of imported foods, which are quite expensive, as you saw in my first video. And they also have some local foods and some basic staples, which I find are often on par with the regular supermarket, which is SM, the other one in my area that I typically go to. Now, I did ask some of my Filipino friends, and I was told that plenty of Filipinos shop at SM, not just the rich ones. It's a pretty typical place to go to do your groceries. Yes, some people do go to fruit markets or palenques. I think that's the name for wet market. And yeah, some people go there and save money. But buying at the supermarket is not extraordinarily expensive, or at least what I mean by that is that most people do tend to go there and pay those prices. Okay, let's get to the video. So I have a loaf of bread here. It's whole wheat bread. I did look around at the other brands available. This seemed to actually be a pretty decent price overall for the weight that you get. It's like, I don't know, 550 grams for this loaf, and it's 58 pesos. Now remember that 1 peso is 2.1 US cents. So 100 pesos, $2.15. So that means this 58 pesos would be about $1.20 US. So I think that's not terrible for this. Still high for where I am, I believe. Compared to local salaries, I think a lot of these foods are expensive. Even the local brands, the basic staples, I do find that they're quite expensive. And comparatively, they are, at least from what I know. But feel free to leave comments and tell me otherwise. Here, if you like to snack on sweets every once in a while, I got a couple of packages of cookies. These are a local brand. They're not bad. They're not amazing. They're not bad. They're cookies. They're okay. These were about 50 pesos each. I think 49 pesos. So a little bit more than $1 US for these. Each, I mean. Okay, we have peppers. Green, reddish. They've started to change colors. I kind of like the color mix here. These peppers, excuse me, 48 pesos, so about $1 US. Again, I feel that I should be getting more peppers for that price, but anyway, $1 US for 200 grams, basically. That's what it works out to. Cucumbers. Here, these cucumbers are 70 pesos per kilogram. So $1.50 US per kilogram. These two cucumbers cost me 27 pesos. So about 60 cents. Not too bad, I suppose. Now, this one, remember everything I bought was at SM. Just a typical supermarket. They're all over the country. And a lot of people do shop there. They have to pay those prices. Of course, things are more expensive here in Manila, as with any capital city in any country. But SM is where I do most of my shopping. However, there are exceptions. Parmesan cheese, SM didn't have any, not fresh, not bottled. So I had to go to Rustan's, which is a bit of an upscale supermarket here. This was one of the cheaper options available. The fresh stuff was, I thought, crazy priced. It was 100 grams for 250 pesos. So something like $5.50 for 100 grams of fresh Parmesan cheese. It's like $55 per kilogram. Didn't want to pay that, so I bought this. This was 227 grams for 225 pesos. So about $5, I think, for this, or just under $5 US. Okay, this is Pancit Canton, which I love this stuff. It's not the healthiest snack in the world. I know that. It's basically ramen. It's a pack of noodles, and in it there are some spices and a little sachet of oil and soy sauce. You put that on there, you mix it up, and it makes for a nice quick snack. It's ready in 3 minutes. It's, you know, for what it is, it's really good. I don't want to hear all these comments telling me how unhealthy it is. I know it's not the healthiest option in the world, okay? But it's a cheap and pretty tasty snack if you like this kind of thing. 9 pesos per package. So I got a couple of these. Here I have cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, not too bad. Half, it's small, but half a cantaloupe was 26 pesos. So a little over 50 cents US. I think that's not a terrible price. Here we got rice. Now this was the cheapest rice I could find at the supermarket. There was nothing cheaper than this. And this was 44 pesos per kilogram. So I got 2 kilograms for 87 pesos. 87 pesos, what is it, like $1.70, $1.75 US, something like that. Okay, toilet paper. Now, I know this was one of the most expensive toilet papers available. I've been here for a while. I have tried all kinds of different brands that were cheaper. They all feel like sandpaper. And I'm sorry, but when it comes to your bum, I think it's worth spending a bit more money for something that's not going to rip you up. Because if you go with the, the cheaper paper, you're just inviting future problems. So I think it's worth spending a bit more. I do feel it's expensive. This stuff was 187 pesos for 9 rolls. You know, they're fairly light, they're not big, and they're not packed very tightly. So $4 US for this. I feel it's expensive, but I don't know, maybe it's not. I'm kind of comparing things to prices when I was in Japan. And in Japan, I feel like I got more toilet paper for a lower price, and that's in Japan, one of the more expensive countries in the world. So yeah, this is kind of expensive, but worth it. Okay, one day I'm gonna make my own pasta sauce because buying it in jars is expensive, so I bought this. This is 70 pesos, about $1.50 US, for just some basic tomato sauce as a base. Of course, I'm gonna need to add all kinds of vegetables and maybe some meat, but that's what I paid, 70 pesos for this. It's like 1 kilogram of tomato sauce. Okay, I have eggs. Eggs, now this is a contentious thing because I've also been told, oh my God, you can't buy eggs at the supermarket, it's too expensive, don't buy eggs at the supermarket. Well, I bought these at the supermarket for, I believe, about 87 pesos, okay? That's what, like around $1.80, $1.90 US. I have been told if you want to get some eggs for cheap, go to a sari store. So that's what I did. I went to a few actually in the area. I asked how much the eggs were, and I was told 7 pesos each. 7 pesos each times 12 is 84 pesos. So for a dozen, I ended up paying like 3 pesos more for this. And I saved myself the hassle of having to go to a different place to get my eggs. So I think this is a pretty fair representation of what you can expect to pay for eggs. There were more expensive eggs. If you want the organic stuff or the free range stuff or whatever they call it, you're going to pay more. I saw eggs up to $2.50 pesos for a dozen. But I'm happy enough with these. These were 87 or so. And finally, I've got milk now. I know it's Anchor. That's the brand. It's a New Zealand brand. So yes, this milk is imported. But before you make a comment talking about how expensive imported brands are, I want you to know that I looked around and this was the second cheapest brand of milk available of all the choices there. This stuff was 70 pesos per liter. I got this one's the low fat one, and this one's the full fat one. 3.3% fat, and this is the, I don't know, 1.5 I think it is. So, but they were the same price, 70 pesos each. The absolute cheapest milk I saw was 67 pesos. 3 pesos difference. That was the cheapest one. It was a local brand. There were other local brands that were more expensive than this stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but this was the second cheapest milk that I could see on the shelves of the 8 or 9 brands that were available. So yeah, that's basically what I paid for this stuff at Standard Supermarket, SM Marketplace in Makati. With the exception of this, which I bought at Rustan's. And yes, I know it's a bit expensive, but I like Parmesan cheese, so I bought it. Oh, one more thing before I go. Water. If you come to the Philippines, and of course, you're going to want to drink bottled water. So, the first thing you think of probably is to go to the local convenience store, maybe 7-Eleven or Ministop, and buy yourself, 1.5 liters of water. If you're here for, a day or two, fine. Get yourself a couple of those. They're about 40 pesos, 35, 40 pesos each. However, if you're going to be here for a week or 2 weeks, I highly recommend that you go to, a water filtration center. They have small ones everywhere. Get yourself one of these. This was basically a refill is 40 pesos. So you're paying the same price for 20 liters of water as you would for 1.5 liters at the convenience store. So if you plan on, using 6 or 7 of those bottles while you're here, just get one of these. You pay the same price for the water. The downside is you have to pay for the container, which if I recall correctly, because I bought it like 3 months ago, was like 250 pesos for the container. So I don't know. It depends how long you're here for. If you're here for 3 or 4 days, it's probably not worth buying the container for. There's apparently no refund on the container, or so I'm told. So you're throwing that money away once you buy the container. But if you're here for 2 or 3 weeks, then it probably pays itself off rather than having to buy that stuff at the convenience store every time. So that's it. That's my shopping list for today. I'm gonna put up a couple more eventually with different foods. And then at some point, when I have a whole bunch of different stuff, I'll make a compilation video or something to put it all together. So that's it. Thanks for watching.